All right. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. We good? Are we good?
Just don't know. Yeah, 1 second.
Let's see something. What channel are you on?
Mine, GMS, Kashakwala Bungad.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Cool. Khan. All right. Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chakwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the elect. All right, we're the brothers of Great Millstone Miami, myself, Lawyer, and the brother Kasha Kuala from GMS Atlanta.
Shalom.
All right, special guest, man, very beloved brother right here, you know. And yeah, man, you know, we got together through the spirit, man, the power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, man, you know, to preach the word of Yahweh Shemel Shai, man, and the topic that we're going to go into for the exhortation of the elect, okay, of the brothers out there is to count the cost, man. All right, count the cost, man. And this is coming straight out of Yahweh Shai's mouth, man. You know, counting the cost is not something that you do when you first come into the truth and then you just leave it at there, you know, at that. You know, as we continue to grow in the truth, man, you know, we're constantly being tested. We're constantly being proven by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. Okay? All right, that's why the scriptures say, matter of fact, get Sirach chapter 2 real quick.
Okay.
All right?
Start at the top.
Yeah. You know, because we're constantly being tested by the Lord, man. And as you continue in this faith, man, as you continue in this knowledge, because the Lord basically put us up on game, man. We're part of the in crowd. As the Lord reveals more and more to us, the tests become even harder and harder, man. And we're getting ready to enter into the hour of temptation. We're getting ready to enter into Jacob's trouble. Okay? So we got to constantly examine ourselves, man, and realize that what we've gotten into is something very, very serious, man. Okay? Go ahead, read that scripture.
This is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation."
Right, so the Lord said, when you come to serve him, prepare thy soul for temptation, man. And that's not something that happened, you know, that you do, you know, when you first come into the truth and then you know, been around a couple of years and then you do it here and there. No, you have to constantly be in the mindset of that the Lord's going to test us. We're going to be tried. We're going to go through sufferings. We're going to go through afflictions and tribulations. Okay? We have to always be in that mindset. Okay?
That's right.
All right? Go ahead.
It says, verse 2, "Set thy heart aright and constantly endure."
Right, set thy heart aright and constantly endure. Matter of fact, before we turn on the camera, the brothers was just telling me how in the Atlanta camp, you know, you had some new brothers cross over,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the questions y'all asked those brothers is this what you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I remember when we were up in Atlanta, you know, the Florida brothers, we had a whole big, you know, conference of the brothers in the Southeast,
Mm-hmm.
and Elder Ariella said it, man. He was like, is this what you want to do for the rest of your life?
Right.
Okay? All right, no matter what anybody says, your family, your woman, your significant other, your children, okay? No matter what Esau comes down the pike with, all right, are you making the decision to do this for the rest of your life, man, no matter what? Okay? All right, and so that's part of what setting your heart all right with your heart means your mind, man.
That's right.
Okay? That's something a conclusion that we have to constantly search out within ourselves, man. Okay? The leaven that we see, you know, the faults that we see constantly working on them, man. Making sure that we walking in the spirit, man, walking uprightly, man, because the Lord is going to come and search us out, man. All right, the scriptures talk about how the Lord, you know, in the book of Revelation, you know, was searching out the 7 churches, man.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody who says that they serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the Lord is going to put them through tribulations, man. Matter of fact, okay.
If I may land back off you, just like, you know, the bishop mentioned what's going on in Atlanta, it's a good thing going on. I'm not trying to say it like it's negative.
No, that was a great thing.
It's a good thing going on. But Elder Aratazal and Bishop Tazwan still asks bros who's been in the camp 5+ years to continue to count the cost. It's
Right.
just not when you're on the outside and you cross over at that point, yes, that is a pivotal point to where you need to be like, dang man, do I because this is a career.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's an everlasting career. So you really got to be like, do I really want to? Yes, you know what I'm saying? But when you get into it, you still got to ask yourself that every day. We've seen people fall out.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen people fall out throughout the years. And they weren't asking themselves that every day. So the elders, and just in my camp, I'm sure, Bishop, you do it too.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless if you on the outside looking to come in or you're in the inside and been there for a minute, you still have to count the cost.
Right.
All right, because there's levels. Are you counting the cost to the next level that you might attain?
Yes. There you go, man. That's perfectly said, because even Yahushua was always doing that, making sure his disciples were crossing their T's and dotting their I's. Mm-hmm. And those was his personal friends, man. Mm-hmm. Those was his personal friends, man. Those was his road dogs, man.
Right.
Everywhere he went, they went. They was out there performing miracles and preaching the gospel and preaching the good news and prophesying. And Yahushua was constantly putting them to the test, man. Constantly saying things to prick their understanding, man. Okay? All right, which the Lord knew, that those was, they was predestinated from the foundation of the earth, but he still did it, man.
Right.
Okay, and those was his disciples, man. So how much more us, man? We can't just make ourselves for that number and just think that because we've been around for so long, that we just gonna, just walk into, into Jacob's trouble and it's gonna be all good, man.
Right.
We have to continue to count the cost, man, and continue to prepare ourselves for temptation, man.
I got a real quick one for you. First,
because like you said, the Lord is gonna continue to take us to more and more levels of the truth, man. So the temptations are going to get harder and harder and harder, man. The trials and the afflictions are going to get harder and harder and harder, So we gotta make sure that we know what the fuck we're involved in. And this is something the apostles always say, man. Okay?
That's right.
Go ahead, brother.
Come, just for you, 1 Peter 4:18 says, and if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear?
Right.
Look, I just want to really harp in on the first part, because we're striving after righteousness. 2nd Ezra 9 pretty much tells you, just loosely paraphrasing, pretty much don't worry about the wicked. They gonna get what they get.
Right.
Worry about how our focus, that's a better word, focus on how the righteous are going to be saved. So the scriptures right here saying, if the righteous scarcely be saved. All right, so you have to count that. We're coming, just like the bishop's saying, we're coming into times to where you're going to have to really think, are you ready to be persecuted falsely, or accused falsely, which ultimately is persecution.
Right.
Are you ready for these things to be done to you? You might have to stand on business on that day.
Right.
You got it, Bishop.
Con. Which we of course we know that the Lord got us, so we're not, pushing fear, okay? Right. But nonetheless, we have to understand that Yahushua he even told his disciples, man, these things I say unto you, that ye be not offended, man. So he was putting them up on game, man. All right, so that when the tribulations and the persecutions come, they can know, okay, this is what it is, man. This is what Yahushua told us, man, so that they don't get caught off guard and start getting frantic like they didn't sign up for this. Right. No, I told you. Yahushua said, marvel not if the world hates you, man. Okay? All right, but I did want to bring this out real quick. This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 10. All right, it says, but thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, long suffering, charity, patience, persecutions, afflictions, which came unto me at Antioch and Iconium, at Lystra, what persecutions I endured, but out of them all the Lord delivered me. Okay? All right. It says, yea, and all that will live godly in Yahushua HaMashiach shall suffer persecution. Okay? So this is not something that's just going to happen to, the elders and the apostles.
Right.
No, it's all those that say that they believe in Yahushua and are really, really sincere about that. You will suffer persecution. Okay? There's no getting around it, man. Like Yahushua said, marvel not if the world hates you. Okay? If they persecuted me, they will persecute you. All right? And scriptures talk about the parable of the sower. How it says there's one that endured for a while. Yeah. And then, when tribulation and persecution ariseth because of the word, by and by he's offended, man. Okay, so we can't just go in overconfident. Okay, of course we have confidence in Yahweh Shem Shai, but that confidence is in Yahweh Shem Shai, not in our own, self-assurance or our own, how would you say, it's a specific word I'm looking for, resolve.
Okay.
Okay, your own personal resolve, man. No, we gotta trust in Yahweh Shem Shai, man, to make it through this place, make it through this time of temptation. Okay, if that makes sense. All right, you got something, brother?
Yeah, just to land back off what you're saying, that persecution is gonna come to everyone who fears the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
This is a classic, 2nd Ezra 16 and 70. It says, "For there shall be in every place in the next city a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord."
Mm-hmm.
And just to balance it out, I'm gonna go up a few verses to 67. Verse 67 says, "Behold," because you were speaking on this too. "The Most High Himself is the judge. Fear Him. Leave off from your sins and forget your iniquities. To meddle not meddle no more with them forever. So shall the Most High lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble."
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the bishop was saying. It doesn't matter, if you claim yourself as an Israelite, if you claim yourself fearing the Lord, that persecution is going to come. Esau, it doesn't matter what alphabet camp you're in, he deems us all the same.
Mm-hmm.
So we all gonna have to experience that. It just, who is it not going to come nigh to, like the scriptures say? You know what I'm saying, in Psalm 91. All right, because just like we read in verse 67, He will deliver you from that trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Did you want me to finish that Ecclesiasticus off?
Read that second verse again.
Okay, Ecclesiasticus chapter 2 and 2. It says, "Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble."
Right, constantly endure and make not haste in time of trouble, man, because when these things come, the fleshly reaction is to do what you want to do, to try to get your lick back, to get carnal, okay, to do something that the Lord has commanded you not to do, to go after the flesh, man. Okay, so again, that's part of counting the cost, man. If they come after you and your family, are you gonna try to get carnal? If they break in your house, or if they try to interrogate you or falsely accuse you, are you gonna be sitting there trying to justify yourself, or will you wait on the Lord? Okay, all right. If you start getting persecuted, will you start being like, "Oh, I didn't sign up for this," and start blaming the truth and things like that, or are you gonna trust in Yahweh Shem Shai, man? Your family come against you and try to persuade you, okay, and they saying all type of manner of evil against you, or try to play on your conscience. You don't really love us. How could you serve a God that that would make you forsake your family and this, that, and the third, and they talking all type of bullshit? Are you willing to endure that and continue to trust in Yahweh Shem Shai, man? There's a reason why these things are written in the scriptures, man. Okay, they're written for us to consider these things. Okay, Yahweh Shai spoke about these things because we ought to consider these things, man. They're not just written there just for us to read and be like, whatever.
Yep.
We got to take it seriously, man.
That's heavy right there. I got another quick one for you.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's heavy. This is Proverbs chapter 3 and 5. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not onto thine own understanding."
Mm-hmm.
Let me read verse 6. It says, "In all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy path."
Right. So when we go through tribulations and persecutions, the first thought that should be going through our mind is praying to Yahweh Shem Shai, man. And that's something that we need to be doing more than ever, man. Is praying to the Lord, man. Even Yahweh Shai, when He was getting ready to be crucified and put on trial and all those things, what was He doing in the Garden of Gethsemane, man? He was praying, man.
That's right.
Okay, this is the Son of the Most High. This is the Son of God, Yahweh Shai. He was performing miracles. He was the first spirit created.
Right.
He knew His rank and everything, man. And He even prayed to the Father for strength to endure, man. So how much more us? Yahweh Shai said, "Watch and pray lest ye enter into temptation," man. The spirit is indeed willing, but the flesh is weak, man. Yahweh Shai understood the weakness of the flesh, man. That's why He was telling us to pray, man.
That's right.
Because these temptations are going to come. These trials are going to come. Things are going to get harder and harder. Are you counting the cost? Are you watching, man?
Right.
The things that we read about, a lot of the things that we read about in the scriptures are going to have direct effects on us, man.
Right.
You know, when the scriptures talk about economic collapse, you know,
Life's gonna change.
life is gonna change for us, man. Our status quo is gonna change. Are you counting the cost for that?
Right.
You know, the lives of the brothers around you that's been laboring with you on the highways and byways, their lives is gonna change. We're gonna be all we got. Are we considering that? We have to consider that, man.
Right.
That's part of counting the cost, man. You know, brothers' faces may be on the news and persecution and all of that. You know, you may be separated from your family. Okay. You know, martial law and all these things. These things, we not just gonna be, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna be in the middle of it and the Lord gonna deliver us out of it. But in order for us to get to the point where the Lord is working miracles, we're gonna have to go through the straight gate, man.
Right.
There's no getting around it, man. The straight gate is the breeding ground for miracles, man.
Right.
Okay? All right? We there ain't no backing out of this, man.
Right.
Okay? Like when we left Egypt, all right, it was on the shore of the Red Sea, and the Egyptians was on our ass, man. The Lord put us in a very tight position, man.
That's right.
And that's when the miracle was performed, man. Okay? It was whole earth was flooded. The Lord had Noah go into the ark, man.
Right.
Okay? You know, Jerusalem was besieged. Okay? And then the Lord sent an angel, man. But we was being tried the whole time, man.
Right.
You know? You know, so again, it's all part of it, man.
I got another one for you.
What's up, bro?
This is Psalm chapter 27 in verse 11. It says, "Teach me thy way, O Yahweh, and lead me in a plain path because of mine enemies." Verse 12, it says, "Deliver me not," and this is a prayer. So it says, "Deliver me not over unto the will of mine enemies, for false witnesses are risen up against me, and as such breathe out cruelty." So Bishop already mentioned this particular, precept that I'm bringing out. False witnesses are going to come up against us, and a lot of them false witnesses are going to be of the circumcision.
Yeah.
Our own people.
Right.
You could say it's the same thing that happened to Yahushua. We're all going to have that moment where Peter had, when Yahushua told him, "You're going to deny me 3 times." But in this time around, we can't deny.
Right. We can't.
We can't. That's already been played out. Are you ready? I'm just laying backing off the bishop. Are you ready for these times of Acts to come back, but 10 times heavier than what it was that we're reading? Because that's what it's going to be. Are you ready to give all your funds over to the camp?
Yeah.
When there's a time of trouble, you might have $300 left in the bank, but every brother in the camp done lost his job because we don't take the MOTB.
Right.
You have to put it in the pot so it can be distributed equally. Are you ready to do that? Just like it was in the book of Acts.
Right. Yeah.
You got to think about that.
Right. Because if you're not thinking about that, you're not really watching. Watching is not something that, okay, we saw the article in the headline and I'm saying we did a video on it, we linked it with the scriptures. That's part of it.
Right.
But also another part of it is understanding the effect that it could and may have on you.
Start living it.
Okay? Because it's gonna this stuff is gonna hit, man.
Yeah.
Okay? When the C-19 came, a lot of brothers was out of work.
Yep.
Okay? All right? A lot of brothers was out of work, man, and it's the Lord was sustaining us, man. Okay? These different judgments that be happening, and like I know down South Florida, we get a lot of rain and stuff like that, and it be flooding and stuff. For the most part, brothers' lights be on, but sometimes the Lord be having the power off for a while. These things are gonna have a direct effect, man, on some of our lives, man.
Right.
Okay, and we can't be offended. We can't start getting out of character. That's why Yahushua said, "What? Count the cost." Which I'm just gonna get the scripture because we've went all over the place already.
Yeah. I'll get it for you.
Okay.
So you can break it down. Luke. This is Luke 14, starting at verse 25. It says, "And there went great multitudes with him, and he turned and said unto them," verse 26, "If any man come to me, and hate not his father and mother, and wife and children, and brethren and sisters, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple.
Right. You know, so Yahushua is putting his disciples on game, man. You know, you gotta love the things of this world, your family, your close acquaintances, you know, your kinsmen. You gotta love them less than you love the Lord, man.
Right.
You don't mean like you know, F you mom,
Right.
you know, F you dad.
Right.
You know, you cursing out your children all the time. That's not what it's talking about, man. It's just talking about when it comes down to it, between serving the Lord and pleasing your worldly family and acquaintances, which one are you gonna choose, man? Because if you choose them, then you can't be the Lord's disciple, man. And tests like that are coming. This is not written for no reason. Like he just said it and then that's it. No, the word of the Lord has to play out, man. It's gonna come times where, not just now, but especially in the times to come, man, because the scriptures talk about betrayals, man, and the Lord has had the spirit on brothers to go into that, man. Okay, especially in the times that we coming into where Esau's gonna start putting out the hammer down and the draconian measures for the things that we teach. The people around us are going to be tested. Brothers in the camp are going to be tested. Their families are going to be tested that know about the truth, that don't know about the truth. Okay? And there's going to be variance at times, man. We have to have it in our minds to be like, nah, man, I'm sticking with what the Lord's saying. If they call the cops, they call Esau, you know what I'm saying? They turn us in or whatever, or they go take the chip, that's their business, man. Okay? It's going to come down to that, man. All right? It's uncomfortable to think about. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to talk about, but it's in the scriptures, man. You know, it's funny because the heading of this particular part of the chapter is discipleship tested.
Yeah.
In the blue letter, when you go into it, it says discipleship tested, man. So, like I said, Yahushua was constantly, you know, testing his disciples, man, pricking their understanding to see where their minds was at, man. You know. It says, and whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple, man. And again, this is part of the cross. Yahushua would not be saying it if it was not important, man. Mm-hmm. These things are in red letter, man. Okay? All right? It says, for which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it, man? And what does it mean to count the cost? It means to consider the things that you may have to lose in order to actually be part of the elect, man, in order to serve the Lord. Okay, which the tower that we're building, what we're building is ourselves up in the faith, man. What are you willing to sacrifice, man? Because a cost is a sacrifice.
That's it.
You know, you go to the store and buy a bag of apples, it says $2.50.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do you have $2.50 to spend for that?
Right.
Are you willing to lose that?
Right.
To gain the apples or not? You can't be like, oh, well, $2, I got $2.48. Nah, you can't get the apples then, bro. You got to go down to the finest measurement.
Right.
Okay, then you can make the exchange, man. That's part of the sacrifice, man. A cost is a sacrifice. Are you willing to make those sacrifices, man? Even if your own life, even if our own lives are in danger, man. Mm-hmm. Which they're going to be. We're going to be under the threat of imminent death.
That's right.
You know, it's going to be times of uncertainty, like, damn, the Lord, you know what I'm saying? My back's against the wall. Are you going to come through? This, that, the third. You know, and we're going to just have to trust in Yahweh Shai. And like the scriptures say in Sirach, we're going to fall into the hands of the Lord and not into the hands of men. Okay? But if you're not willing to count the costs, then when it happens, you're going to get caught off guard.
That's right. That's right.
You know? Go to the grocery store. Yeah, I'm going to go grocery shopping. You even check your account to see if your direct deposit came in.
Right.
You go to the register, you swipe, decline.
Right. Because the same script right here is the Lord is telling you to be a logical individual. It's logistics, man. You do have to incorporate that in your walk. You know, of course, don't be overly logistic or logical, not giving room for the spirit to function or work. But you do have to think. It's called critical thinking. That's what we're telling you to do. You know, we practice it, you know, daily. Another way you critical think, I want to tell you, one way that you can tell you're not critically thinking is if you're not praying before everything you do.
Right.
Before you get on the road, before you wake, you know, when you wake up and you pray. If you're not doing that, you're not critically thinking. You're aimlessly going about and not counting the cost of daily life.
Right.
You know, the scriptures say, I want to say in like Psalm 69, it says, the Lord daily loadeth us with benefits. And when you go into that, it means he daily loadeth us with power. Okay? So you waking up, opening your eyes is a power that the Lord gave to you, because he didn't have to give that to you. You know, and when you go into 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, matter of fact, can I read it real quick?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I just paraphrased that in Psalm. But if you're an individual who's not, you know, praying or thanking the Lord or asking the Lord for this protection, you fall into this category. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and 9, but the point is in verse 10. It says, then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that had cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. It says, verse 10, for such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me, and they have loathed my law while they have yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. So you not counting the cost, being logical, considering, ultimately praying and giving thanks to the Lord for each and every day, for each and everything you could possibly think of, you're despising. You're despising what has been given to you.
Right.
You know, you got to.
You're going through situations. You're not thinking about the scriptures.
Right.
You know, you just moving off the flesh.
Right.
You know, you start panicking. Some minor inconvenience happens. You start panicking. You start doubting. You're not reasoning in the spirit. Okay.
Right.
You know, that's why these things are written for. The scriptures are written for us to apply, man. The scriptures are written for us to take into our thoughts and consider them. Okay, so that when the tests get greater and greater, we know how to operate, man.
Right.
You know. You had anything else, brother?
Just one more quick thing, because this applies to logistics. Chapter, that's a spirit. We was talking about what we do for work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That, you know, off camera. But Ecclesiasticus chapter 5 and 15, be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. And Yahushua is telling you that right here in what we're reading in Luke 14. Counting the cost, you have to consider everything. Just like the bishop said, down to the last very measure. You can't get them apples if you got $2.49 when it's $2.50.
Right.
What do you think someone's gonna be? Oh no, it's okay. No, that's what it costs. If you don't have what it takes, you can't get the reward.
Right.
You know?
That's why I said count the cost. That's something that you have to constantly do.
Right.
You know, because if it comes to a point where you're not doing that, then eventually the cost is going to come and you're going to be offended.
Right.
You know, you're going to be like, damn, I wasn't prepared for this. I wasn't thinking about this. You know, when the Lord already told us what time it was, man.
You're going to be one of the ones that have to go back and get the oil.
Right.
But it's too late.
God. You know, hey, this is Revelation chapter 2, verse 10. It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. So Yahushua told us that we're going to suffer, bro. All right. It says, behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, which we know that, you know, again, like we saying this in general. Okay. Because this has to be talked about.
Absolutely.
All right. You know, it's sometimes it's uncomfortable to think about. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to talk about, but it has to be talked about because it's in the Bible.
Right.
It has to be considered because these words came out of Yahushua's mouth. Okay, and we read in the scriptures of our forefathers that had to go through these things, man. All right. So yeah, we have to speak in general. Yes, we believe, of course we believe Yahweh Shema is going to lift up a standard. We believe the Lord's going to feed us and make sure that we eat and drink and, you know, have abundance in that time. We believe that wholeheartedly. We talk about spiritual power. We talk about all these things. Plenty of videos go out on that, man. Okay? But at the same time, we have to consider the bitter too, man. It's just part of the story, man. Okay? Because these things are going to happen. You know, over the years, we've built relationships with brothers, man. You know, we've built camaraderie. We've built a spiritual family, man. You know, there's emotions that's tied to that. Are you considering that these things that we read about can affect not only yourself but the brothers around you? Okay? All right? And if you're not considering it, if you're not counting the cost, you will become a liability. Okay? You become a liability to the camp. All right? That's why Yahushua said, count the cost, man.
Become a schism.
Okay? All right? This is Revelation 2:10. It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. All right? So going back to the point, you know, Esau's going to come and try to round brothers up, man. Round different believers up. Okay? You women that are attached to men of the Lord, you know, your husband is in a camp. Okay? You thinking you're not going to be affected? Okay?
Exactly.
You're going to be affected too. We read the scriptures where women were persecuted. Susanna, you read about that in Maccabees. You know, children were persecuted. You know, you read about it in Acts. Mm-hmm. Okay? If you call yourself believing in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, it's scriptures say you shall suffer persecution in one way, shape, or form.
Right.
Okay? Do we believe the Lord is going to deliver us? Yes, but you have to count the cost of going through the straight gate first.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
It's just what it is. It's just what it is. You know?
The eating and drinking and spiritual powers is the reward for enduring.
Right.
You have to count that.
Right. Yep. It says that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days, but be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So there's going to be situations where, you know, you have brothers, you know, believers in prison and concentration camps. And the Elder Manada Zakba just did a lesson on this today. You know, he did a lesson on this today. Either today or recently this week, he was going in. You know, we may be in the concentration camp and you know, seeing people get put to death.
Right.
You know, and your life is being threatened, or they have you in solitary confinement, examining you. You know, doing you bodily harm. You know, which brothers have had dreams of that. That's part of it. That's part of the story. Okay? We have to be faithful unto death, man. Okay? And that's not a light thing. That's something that we have to pray, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, keep the spirit upon us to endure that, man. Okay? So that we don't end up doing what? Getting offended.
Right. Okay?
I didn't sign up for this. Lord, why are you letting this happen to me? The Lord already told us this was going to happen.
Right.
Did you count the cost?
It's just like you're saying in the parable of the pounds in Luke, I say like the 19th chapter, I think. He said, "You knew I was an austere man.
Right.
You knew this. You know, it's no rabbit out the hat, man. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And just like you said, there's no other reason why the Apostle Gabar been doing a lot of lessons. You know, talking about, do you brothers really know what you involved in? You know, and if you don't, you really need to consider. Mm-hmm. Like, really, truly consider. You know, these men have been doing it for decades, and they're asking us that.
Right.
And if they have to ask us that, that means a lot of us really don't truly got the deep down understanding of what we're really involved in. Mm-hmm. And just pray to the Lord that you really get that understanding, man.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna sit here and be 100. I don't have that understanding like how the apostles and elders shoot. The heads of my camps have it to what they're really involved in. But I pray it gets deeper and deeper ingrained inside of me. And from what I can tell you on camera, from what I know now, this is very serious.
It is.
This is very serious. What I'm involved in, what we're involved in. But you need to get that seriousness more deeper and ingrained each and every day.
Right.
You know, don't stop at where you at now. Oh yeah, it's serious.
Yeah.
Nah, man. You know.
Yeah, you know. And again, it's nothing wrong, of course, because the Lord has kept us this thus far. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing wrong with having confidence in what the Lord has already done in us to keep us in His faith. But it doesn't stop there. It doesn't, because the tests are going to get harder, bro. The tests are going to get harder. We have to do our part of counting the cost. We have to. Right. It's no getting around this shit at all. Okay, things are going to get harder. The tests are going to get more and more dire. Okay, it's gonna get more and more dangerous. Right. To be a part of what we're part of, brothers that you see around you, they might not be there. You know, you might not have access to brothers be able to pick up the phone and call a brother. You know, you have to go through this by yourself in certain scenarios, man. Are you willing to go through that? You know, yeah. What did Paul say? Not just within my presence, but not much more in my absence, man. It's gonna be scenarios like that, man. We have to prepare our minds to be okay with that. Okay, not just reading it, but asking within ourselves, am I okay with this? Okay, have I come to terms and grips with this? This is what it is, and I'm not gonna turn my back from it. Okay, all right, and even on top of that, praying that the Lord keeps us in that spirit.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
you know, because we don't want to be of the ilk of saying that we're gonna stand firm, and then when it happens, we fold. We don't want to be of that ilk, so we got to pray how about Shema Shai, man, to keep the spirit upon us, man. Lord willing, we don't take the chip, man.
Right.
And the Apostle Tar says that all the time, man. You know, the Lord's going to have to put the spirit upon us to deal with what the fuck is coming,
Right.
you know? But that's only going to come for those who have been counting the cost, man, and actually coming before the Lord and taking this shit serious, man. Because, again, it wouldn't be being said for no reason, man.
Right.
These things are being said for a reason to stir up our understanding, man. Okay? All right, and go to Yahweh Shema Shai and beg him for the strength, man. We're going to be in scenarios where we're begging, crying out to the Lord, man. Okay? And it's going to hurt. Shit going to hurt. And it's going to be humiliating at times. Okay? All right? And that's when the Lord's going to come through. But he going to try us until the end. Okay? You have something, brother?
It's a quick here. Second Ezra chapter 7:7. It says the entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water. Verse 8, and it says in one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could be but one man go there at once. So think about that. You know, it's just like the bishop was saying, it's going to get way more dire. That's a great word. Wait, and just like it says here in verse 7, dangerous place to fall. It's going to get way more dangerous, but only one man can go through at a time. So it's your path that you need to walk, you know, and get through it. But you have to consider on the left hand and the right hand side, it's going to be hella danger.
Right.
Come through. Valley of the shadow of death. That's where we're placed. Every day, you're walking on that path when you wake up. Right when you wake up out of bed, there's fire on one side and a deep water on the next. Shoot, I saw an article one time, veering off topic, of this woman who fell out of bed, busted up her face, and had to go to the ICU, and ended up being on like almost life support.
Damn.
Just fell out of bed. Fire on one side, deep water on the other. Shit can happen to you, man. You know, shit can happen to you if the Lord wants it to happen to you. You got to make sure you're waking up and striving for the perfection and the mastery, being as righteous as you can, praying to the Lord for mercy, repenting. I did a lesson on that not too long ago. Repenting can change your circumstances. And when you read the book of Jonah went to Nineveh, told them what's about to get ready to happen. What do they do? Repent, and the Lord said, okay, I'm not about to do it no more.
Right.
And he repented it, you know, of what he was about to do, even though he still did it.
Right.
You know, but at that very moment, repenting changed the circumstances. So it can change for you. It can elongate your life.
Yeah.
You got to consider this, man. You got it.
Con. Yep. Hey, this is Matthew chapter 13 and verse 18. All right. It says in verse 20, Matthew chapter 13 and verse 18, it says, "Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. This is he which received seed by the wayside." All right, which we see that all the time. You know, brothers always say, you know, you go out to camp, you preaching the word, and somebody comes up, and then, you know, they get immediately distracted by something like their woman or their children or whatever the hell they got going on, which is really Satan. Okay, and they may be attentive for a while, and they just end up getting distracted, and they just completely forget what was being told them, and they go right back into the world. Okay, they fade to gray, right? Or fade to black. Verse 20, it says, "But he that received the seed into stony places, the same as he that heareth the word, and anon with joy receiveth it, yet he hath not root in himself, but dureth for a while. For when tribulation or persecution ariseth because of the word, by and by he is offended." Okay, so you have those who, and again, these are real scenarios.
Right.
These are not just scenarios that just he's saying it and it doesn't happen. Barakatah, brother. No, these are real scenarios.
We've seen.
We've seen it.
Right.
Okay, on on the smallest shit too. But these scenarios will continue to play out, man. All right, which is why we gotta again count the cost. Understand that we're gonna go through tribulations and afflictions and persecutions in this faith, man. That's why the scriptures say, "When thou comest to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation," man. So that when it happens, you don't get offended. Okay, all right, because we are all liable to get touched. Okay, all right. The Lord put Yahushua through it. He put the disciples through it. He put Job through it. These was righteous men.
Right.
The Lord put them through it. What makes you think we're not gonna go through anything, man? We gonna be going through shit, man.
Yep.
The tests and the trials, the afflictions is gonna get heavier and heavier, man. As we go down this path, man. Of course, the Lord's gonna bless along the way, and He gonna keep us along the way. Those of us who remain in the Spirit. All right, but if any time we falter, that could just be it for us, man.
You gotta be more spiritual.
You
gotta be more. The bishops in the Atlanta camp is saying that it's time to get more spiritual, man. Mm-hmm. If you ain't that spiritual, you need to figure it out. We have tools and avenues to where we can figure that out. Pray, fast, get around bros, do your lessons, reading. What they say, reading is fundamental.
Right. Yeah.
And you need to get more spiritual so you can really grasp what the bishop is saying right now in this lesson. You have to become spiritual. You got it.
Right. Because I'll read this again. It says, Matthew 13:21, it says, "Yet he hath not root in himself, but dureth for a while, for when tribulation or persecution ariseth because of the word, by and by he is offended." Okay, so because you're not rooted, when the winds and the waves beat upon the house,
say the boisterous winds,
you fall right over, man.
Yep.
Okay, you fall right over. Why? Because you're not rooted in the faith. Your mind is somewhere else, man. Okay, and that's why Yahushua said, and I believe it's Luke chapter 21, he said, "Take heed that your hearts, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and the cares of this life, lest that day come upon you unawares. For as a snare it shall come upon those that dwell upon the face of the earth." Okay? All right, so Yahushua was like, look, man, hey, lock in and stay locked in, man. Okay? Not lock in now and later, stay locked in, because we're going to continue to be tested, man. Okay? Lock in now, continue to get more spiritual, like you said, man. Because we're going to continue to get tested, man.
Right.
Because it's going to come as a snare, man. Things are going to happen fast. And we just going to have to be in the spirit, man. Okay? We just going to have to be in the spirit. And if you're not, you'll end up getting offended. Why? Because you're not rooted. This is out of Yahushua's own mouth. Okay? All right? This is Matthew 13. And... You got something?
No, I'm following along.
God, Matthew 13. You got a point?
No. You keep going, brother.
God, this is Matthew 13:22. It says, my phone's tweaking right now. Matter of fact,
I got it right here.
Go ahead, bro. Yeah.
Matthew 13:22, it says, "He also that received seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful."
That's another thing too, man. The care of this world, man. Worrying about your family too much, bills too much, your job too much, the things of this world. Of course, we do what we have to maintain it, man. But all of these things will eventually be affected, man. especially as we go down this road of prophecy, these things will be affected. Our living situations are not going to be the same.
Nope.
A lot of our comforts are going to be taken away. A lot of brothers may end up without work. Okay, not able to pay rent, all type of shit, man.
Right.
And it's gonna be like, damn, But you have to be mindful. Okay, I can't care too much about this shit, man.
Right.
Okay, because if you do, it's gonna choke the word. And you're gonna start getting overly anxious, man,
Yep.
and start acting off the flesh, man. Okay, and the Lord doesn't want us to move like that, which is why He said in Matthew, when He was the Sermon on the Mount, He said, "Take no thought for your life, man." We're gonna have to really start embracing what these scriptures say, man. Contentment, godliness with contentment is great gain. How in the book of Acts it talks about how they had all things common, like you were mentioning earlier. You might be the last brother in the camp that actually got some funds. And every other brother in the camp might not have shit. And the Lord might call upon you to distribute amongst the brothers, man. You don't want to be offended at that, or, brothers getting persecuted and, the Lord might call upon you to have brothers in your crib or something like that, man, and hide brothers, man. You can't be offended, man. You can't shrink and just go run away. The scriptures talk about how the hireling run when he see the wolf come, man. You got to still stand 10 toes down, man.
That's right.
Brothers might be getting persecuted. You can't just switch up, be like, oh, nah, because you got a wife and kids or some shit or whatever.
If I may say,
and don't think that just shit don't happen, because it happens, bro. Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
If I may say, and I got a precept for you too. These, like the bishop is saying, these things that we have right now are going to be affected. Our children, our wives, our bros. But if you have faith, though they may be affected, they won't be neglected. If you have faith,
right,
the Lord will not neglect them.
Right.
But if you're overly anxious, that means you're not rooted, and therefore, just like you read, just like we read in Luke 14, you didn't love less enough.
Right.
Therefore, gotta lose it now in this time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you really love your family, you will love them less than what you do the Lord, so they can be protected.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I got a quick one for you. This is Sirach.
No matter what they say. No matter what they say.
Because if you're not rooted, you'll get caught up in that wordplay or that emotional, just like you were mentioning earlier. Well, you don't love us like that. It's not even like that. You have to be like that. It's like, no, it's not even like that. It may seem like that to you right now, but I know what I'm doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I trust in the Lord.
That's it. And that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And you'll see the outcome of it. You could, because a lot of people ain't going to have the faith that we've been building over these years, man. They're going to rely on our faith. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. That's the spirit, because I was just talking to the brother yesterday, man. Was just talking about how things getting ready to go down, man, and like you said, it like almost word for word, man. How like a lot of the believers that are gonna start coming in, the great multitude, brothers talk about the great multitude. This is why things like this are important, man, because the Lord has been dealing with us for a certain amount of time, man.
Right.
So basically, we should already be up on game. We should already know what the Lord requires, how to conduct ourselves, etc., man. Okay, but the ones who's coming in, they might have watched some videos, on YouTube, but they don't really know, what I'm saying? They haven't, they're gonna need guidance, what I'm saying? Their faith is not built up. They haven't come class after class and,
right,
what I'm saying? Go to camp after camp and had the hosts and all these things that we had to go through, man. So they're gonna need guidance, man.
Right.
They're gonna need to have somebody as an example to follow of how to conduct yourself, how to not be offended at persecution, how to have faith, how to trust in the Lord, man. Okay, how to so-called let go and let God.
Yep.
Okay, they're gonna have to see that, man. But if you're not on that wavelength, okay, and you just going through the motions, eventually the Lord's gonna pull your fucking card, man. and you're gonna get cast out, man. Eventually, that will happen, man. Because again, like I said earlier, somebody like that is a liability, man.
Right.
They're a liability, and the Lord has made a big flock that He's trying to guide and lead out of here, man. Okay. So again, this is not about pushing fear, because when Yahushua said these things, it wasn't about pushing fear. It was about pushing the severity and gravity of what He's saying, man. Okay.
Right.
It was about highlighting the gravity and the seriousness of serving Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. Which the scriptures talk about in Ezekiel, how the roll, you have to eat the whole roll, and then your mouth is going to be sweet, but in your belly it's going to be bitter.
That's right.
It's going to be like that the whole way through until we get the fuck out of here. Then when we get into the kingdom, it's going to be all sweet.
Right.
That's why the scriptures say, he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Right. When you go to the word endure, it means to endure trials and misfortunes, man. Now, granted, in comparison to the rest of the world, we're going to be good, right? Actually.
Right.
Okay? But we're going to still be going through certain things. The Lord's still going to test us at different times on different things. Okay? And we cannot start tweaking out, man. Okay? That's all part of counting the cost, man.
I got two for you now. This is Sirach 30, or Ecclesiasticus 30 and 24. It says, envy and wrath shorten the life, and carefulness bringeth age before the time. And that carefulness is that anxiety that the bishop was talking about. And then just another precept in the law, and this is laying back and off the point the bishop made when he said, pretty much we were talking about people are going to rely and be banking on our faith because there's a flock that has to come in. When that flock comes in and you have to tend to it, you are keeping the law, actually. So it's Deuteronomy chapter 22, I start at 1. It says, thou shalt not see thy brother's ox or his sheep go astray, and hide thyself from them. Thou shalt in any case bring them again unto thy brother. And just like, what's that, Luke 24 and 44, I want to say, Yahushua said the laws concerning him. So what is it saying here? It says, thou shalt not see thy brother's ox or his sheep go astray. That brother's ox or sheep go astray, that's your Yahushua's sheep. All right? So it says, verse 2, and if any brother be not nigh unto thee, or if thou know him not, then thou shalt bring it unto thine own house, and it shall be with thee until thy brother seek after it, and thou shalt restore it, and thou shalt restore it to him again. So I'm going to reread that, verse 2, Deuteronomy 22 and 2. It says, and if thy brother be not nigh unto thee, is Yahushua here? No. Okay? It says, or if thou know him not, then thou shalt bring it unto thine own house. So this gathering, multitude, the 1/3, all of that, come unto us. Lord willing, we be the men that come unto us. You are to take them in. You are to be that beacon of light to them. You are to be that house. All right? That shelter, and bring that flock in.
Yeah, your brother's keeper.
Your brother's keeper.
Yep.
All right? And it says, and it shall be with thee until thy brother seek after it. Exactly. When the clouds or that sky cracks and he comes looking for his elect to beam up. And if he ordained you to have that flock, you could take it back to the parable of the pounds or the talents. They each received a certain amount of talents or pounds. And the good and faithful ones is like perfect, where you're going to be a ruler of a city of 10 cities. Shoot, that's going to come to pass in the day of Jacob's trouble. You're going to be a ruler over 6,000 people. This brother may be a ruler over 20,000. That brother may be a ruler over 100, according to their talent. And you're supposed to keep them until you can return it to your brother, which our big brother is Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
You know, and that's keeping the law. The law is spiritual, just like it says in Romans. You know,
Common. And that's again all part of counting the cost, man. You know, we're gonna be going through different things. The Lord gonna put us through different trials, and we still gonna have to remain in the spirit. Okay, we're gonna still have to remain servants and subjects to Yahweh Shem Shai and to the body.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, I mean that's basically.
That's all that is.
You got any more points?
No, all right.
Con. So yeah, man, you know, Lord willing, this video is edifying. We want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, HaKadosh, double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the elect. Kwame Yasharala.
Kwame Yasharala. Shalom.